Yo, what's good, YouTube, man? And welcome back to a brand new episode of EDP Watch. Welcome to a brand new episode of EDP Watch. Welcome back to a brand new episode of EDP Watch. Welcome to another episode of EDP Watch. We are meeting Mr. Nick Mancini. We are meeting the disgusting Joel Guyona. First time in Oregon, so I have to give a huge shout out to our big man, Kyle, for being the reason why we're out here. We're meeting this man right here. His name's Daniel.
AugustTheDuck made a video on Jidion. If you don't know who Jidion is, I don't really know a whole lot about him other than the fact that he participates in predator catchers and stuff of that nature. If you've been a longtime viewer of the channel, you know that there's good and bad of predator catching, right? If you do predator catching and all you're doing is you're doing it just for the views, for the money, for the sentiment, for all of that, I dislike you and I think that you're scum of the earth. But if you're legitimately trying to go ahead and be an actual advocate for children and keep children safe, I don't see anything wrong with that, you know? But apparently, AugustTheDuck made a hit piece or went after Jidion for his predator catching. And from what I've seen, or from what I've heard, from what I've read, from what I've seen, it wasn't the best. So we'll take a look and see exactly what happened and what he said.
It's a tale as old as time. Now, we've talked many times about content creators who make content that is thinly veiled as this attempt to like better society or benefit the people around them, when in reality, the only—
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, how many times was there like videos of people going out and giving money to the homeless and giving them like showers and giving them clothes and all that? And it's a double-edged sword, right? Because if you wash up a homeless person, get them in nice clothes, get them in all of this, you're helping them for that day, but nobody's then going to believe that this person is homeless when they're in a nice brand new clothes, all shaven, all smelling good. It's a bit of a double-edged sword. Now, if you're doing all of that, you're getting them cleaned up, you're helping them out and everything, and you're getting them a job or you're helping them with some sort of temporary placement or anything like that, totally makes sense and it's good. But if you're just doing this and then you film it and then after you're done filming, you just never see that person again, it's, you know, you're not really setting them up for success in any way, shape, or form, in my personal opinion.
The reason that content is being made is because it's benefiting the person who makes it. It's not helping out the people that they claim it is, and a lot of times it's actually at their expense. And one of the most common kinds of content that I see this problem arise is with the whole predator catching genre that seems to be pretty popular these days. And today, I feel like I have some pretty strong evidence that one of the biggest guys who does this is maybe not in it for the right reasons. Now, I've talked about this kind of content before, and I wouldn't necessarily say that I have like strong feelings about it, but I definitely have an opinion, and that is a sentence that essentially means nothing. Basically, I don't really think the whole predator catching genre of content is one that really belongs on YouTube. I don't really think it's one that should be made at all, and I'll expand on—
Okay, I have to somewhat disagree with this because if we were to take that model and say that predator catching doesn't at all belong on YouTube and shouldn't be on YouTube, then what you're telling me is that if I have evidence of a content creator who is being a predator or predating on children online, your worldview is telling me that, well, this shouldn't be on YouTube, so I'm not going to say anything. I shouldn't make an expose on this person because it shouldn't, shouldn't be on YouTube. I disagree with that concept. Now, if you're talking about predator hunting outside and people going after them, I still disagree with that concept because a lot of the time, these situations, they don't get picked up as fast as you would want. I mean, look at all of what was necessary to like expose, let's go with EDP 445, right? That was a bad situation. Dude didn't actually get charges pressed against him because of the mishandling of evidence or whatever it was. Bad. But people learned from that, and I think it was it Alex Rosen was the one who did that? He learned from it and has learned to have to work with the police, work within the boundaries, learning the law. Yes, it's a curved learning system, but people will learn to be better at it. I don't think that there's at all a problem with bringing light these absolute vile creatures and all of their sick deeds. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, so long as you're doing it the right way and not actually doing it in a way that's going to cause them to get out of jail.
On that in just one second. But before we begin, I want to talk about today's video sponsor, MyHeritage. Now, MyHeritage is the #1 family history search out a little bit earlier than they are in comments. I want to thank MyHeritage for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back to it. Personally, I'm of the opinion that people really shouldn't be taking the law into their own hands, especially when it comes to something as sensitive as this. Not to mention, most of the guys who are doing this kind of content, they're not benefiting anybody but themselves. And that's really where my main issue with this kind of stuff lies.
I will have to agree with that. There's more people doing this for views and clicks than there are people doing this to see somebody go to jail.
I have no sympathy for the guys who get caught doing shit like this, regardless of the intentions of the people behind it. If you decide to text what you think is a child, or go try and meet up with somebody who you think is a child, and you meet a bunch of dudes and you get beat up a little bit for the internet, well, boo-hoo. Do I support the guys who are doing stuff like that? Well, no, not really. But also, I don't really care if you find yourself in a situation like that, because you shouldn't have been putting yourself in a situation like that. So don't get me wrong.
Okay. You should care about that situation, because that is literally the situation that you're upset about. You're saying that you don't care if this predator gets beat up during a predator sting or something. You should care. You should not want that to happen, because those are the leading causes. That type of action is one of the reasons why they don't get charged in the first place. How are you going to turn around and say, hey, these people are doing it just for views, but I also don't care that they're doing it just for views? That doesn't make sense, August. Like, you should care as much as I have no problem with predators getting stomped out or anything of that nature. That should happen after they're arrested and in incarceration, because it's one of the reasons why they don't actually get prosecuted, because these sting operations, they end up hurting the person, beating the person up or something of that nature, which is assault, which can get the predator catcher themselves arrested or sued, and will stop the predator from actually getting processed and go to jail.
Wrong. The treatment, or like the consequences that these guys face, is not the issue I have with this content. If anything, it's really the lack of consequences that they face and the reasons that the guys.
But the lack of consequences they face is because of what you literally just said you don't care about.
Making this content are doing it. Some are better than others, don't get me wrong. Some of these channels seem to have managed to get in with local law enforcement, or they've developed a better understanding of what exactly they need for the cops to actually be able to do something. But still, you should probably just be leaving this kind of shit up to, law enforcement. Because a lot of
I slightly disagree with this. Yes, law enforcement is the #1 person who should be handling all of this. But if you have the ability to coincide with law enforcement and work in tandem with them, and are able to make these arrests and get these people put on a list and get these people jailed, and convicted, I don't see anything wrong with it. It's when you're not doing that's the problem. So
the times these guys aren't working with the police, or they don't get the right information, they don't capture the right evidence, and all they've done is create a more careful predator who's going to face no consequences. And if you can't understand why people creating more careful and more aware predators while they're trying to put predators behind bars is a bad thing, well, don't know how to explain that one to you. But like I was saying, one of the main issues I have with this kind of content, and what we're really talking about today, is I think a lot of the guys who do this almost forget, I guess, what exactly it is they're doing and what the goal really should be. Because like I was saying earlier, I think a lot of these dudes end up doing this only to benefit themselves, not really to protect potential victims of child predators. And
I would agree. A vast majority of them do. I would have to agree with that. There's too many clips of people beating up these supposed predators and stuff for that not to be the case.
sort of highlight this, we're going to be looking at this clip from our old friend Jidion. Now, this clip is the reason I decided to make this video, and it honestly kind of took me off guard. Now, I've made one video on Jidion before, and I don't think he liked it. His fan base definitely didn't like it. If you don't know who Jidion is, these days, I think the main content that he does is the predator catching stuff, but a few years ago, he was just another run-of-the-mill public nuisance guy. He would make videos where he would like walk into a Best Buy shirtless, and then when the employees would come up and confront him and say, hey, you need to leave the store or put your shirt back on. And then he'd do the classic, what? What do you mean? Why do I need to put my shirt back on? Why are you making me leave? Why are you making me leave? What do you mean I can't film in here? Why do I need to put my shirt
Okay. But what does any of this have to do with what he does now?
back on? I just want to be in the Best Buy. What are you talking about? I'm not doing anything wrong. You know, that kind of whole shtick. That was him for a while. I think I made a video on him like 3 years ago, and it was a video where he walked into a bowling tournament.
Okay, but what does any of that have to do with what his content is today?
And started fucking up the lanes, like throwing coconuts and shit down the lane, you know, just being that kind of guy. He reacted to it on stream, and thousands of his fans came after me saying shit like, you don't get it, you're just a fucking loser, Jidion's a comedic genius, he's a great guy. And then, you know, like a year later, Jidion deleted all of his videos, said he found God, and said that all of his old videos were immature and he shouldn't have made them. So, you know, you can call me a visionary if you want, I won't stop you. Anyways, that's not like super important to the video today.
Yet you just spent the last 2.5 minutes talking about it? It literally has nothing to do with what his content is today. Yeah, he was a nuisance before, and he apologized for getting some dude, what was it, at like Activision or something? He got them fired because they let him into the corporate office or something. I don't think it was Activision. I think it was like some other company or something. But yeah, he was a nuisance. He was a troll. He was one of those fake trolls where he just was being an absolute asinine piece of shit. That has absolutely nothing to do with what his content is today. You even admit it, so there's no point in even talking about it.
I just wanted to mention that. Like I was saying, the clip that we're talking...
You just wanted to... I'm sorry, that seems like some poisoning the well type of shit. Because it has nothing to do with what his content currently is. Now, had it been like you were talking about how, oh, he used to do predator hunts and he would mess it up and he hasn't changed since then, I would understand why you bring it up.
Talking about today kind of caught me off guard because a lot of people have sent me Jidion's predator catching content, and really, if I'm being completely honest, I thought it was kind of some of the better stuff on YouTube when it comes to that genre. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong, I still wouldn't call it like good necessarily. It has all the issues that all this kind of content has, but Jidion does seem to normally try and get what the police need to do something, and a lot of his videos do end with these guys getting arrested. Now, I don't know how many of them have...
Okay, he admits he's doing a better job than most. He admits that they oftentimes get arrested. He admits that he's learned from past mistakes. Where is this video going?
Have actually been charged. It's probably not that many. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Correct me if I am, please. But it does seem like the majority of these videos do end with a guy in cuffs. He seems to generally take it pretty seriously. He's not just going out trying to like beat these guys up for fun. He confronts them professionally. It doesn't ever seem like he's really just trying to get a rise out of somebody for content. For the most part, it's pretty level-headed stuff. And as far as the genre goes, like I said, it's some of the better stuff on YouTube, I think. However,
okay, holy shit. Okay, I normally enjoy AugustTheDuck's videos, but he has been just repeating himself for like the last 5 minutes.
my opinion of it has changed a bit after I've dug into it more. Maybe I just wasn't looking hard enough to begin with, though, to be honest. Because I saw this clip the other day for, I guess it's like a membership for the predator catching content that he does. And I don't know, guys, it's really left a bad taste in my mouth, and I think it's something worth talking about. Because like I was saying earlier, I think a lot of these guys sort of get to a point...
Oh my God, you're repeating yourself again. We're 8 minutes into this video and we haven't even gotten to what this dude did that was too far.
Where they almost start to forget what they're doing, and maybe that's what we're seeing here. I'm going to show you guys the clip in full, and then we're going to go through it. Again, this is like an advertisement for a membership service to his predator catching content.
Please subscribe.
What's this? What the f is this?
Do you want to watch watch EDP Watch episodes early and completely uncensored? Do you want to listen in on these disturbing one-on-one calls we have with these monsters?
Do you usually like rub your pussy or do you finger it?
And do you want to support our mission to protect those who cannot protect themselves? Then why not join EDPWatch.com?
It's showtime!
Get extended, early, uncut, and exclusive never-before-seen episodes, full uncensored chat logs, audio calls, access to the exclusive Discord, and the chance to be flown out and do an EDP catch with yours truly, Demonka's Handsome. All for the low, low price of $4.45. So what are you waiting for? Pull a Marquis brownie and speed on over to EDPWatch.com. Warning, the following content may cause extreme disgust, secondhand embarrassment.
Okay, so obvious.
There's no way. There is absolutely no fucking way this is what he's upset over. There is absolutely no fucking way that he was upset that he made this 15, almost 16-minute video for a freaking advertisement. Who you had an advertisement at the beginning of your video talking about somebody doing something just for money. It might be, is this a punk? Like, is this a debated video? Is that what this is? Is this a rent's due, better make a ha-ha tee-hee type of video? What's wrong with
Yours truly, Demonka's Handsome. Then why not join EDPWatch.com?
It's showtime!
What's wrong with this?
Logs, audio calls, access to the exclusive Discord, and the chance to be flown out and do an EDP catch with yours truly, Demonka. All for the low, low price of $4.com. Warning, the following content may
Secondhand embarrassment, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I guess the biggest issue that you can say on this is that, I'm trying to think here. I guess the biggest issue you could say is that he's like selling the behind the scenes shit that they do. How is that what?
cause extreme disgust, secondhand
things wrong with this little plug. One, I think, is just the overall vibe, like the editing style, the way this was scripted. Again, we are talking about content where the entire focus is going after people who try and manipulate, exploit, and do some of the worst things imaginable to some of the most vulnerable members of our society. Like, we're talking about child predators here, and it's like an Adult Swim parody commercial.
Maybe releasing the evidence. I mean, yeah, maybe, but the thing is, as long as they can't manipulate the evidence, right? As long as there's no way to edit what they're seeing, then that's not really a problem either, because you know there's public access, there's public information, right? You can go online and you can probably see all the same stuff that that is being shown in these Discords or on this Patreon, whatever the fuck it is, and you can still see it all. I mean, we just had the Brian Koberger case just ended, and after it ended, they released thousands, tens of thousands of documents of text messages, of unreleased body cam footage, of all of this crazy shit that happened, his search results and stuff of that nature after pleading guilty. It's kind of the same thing here. Like, if Jidion's getting the okay from the police department and they're like, okay, this is all public information that you can share. This is all the information we're putting out there. If it's already publicly accessible, who the fuck cares if he's like putting it behind a paywall? Like, you know, it's like delivery. It's like delivery. If you're ordering from Instacart or Grubhub, you gotta pay that little finder's fee for someone else to go get all the shit you want and bring it to you. It's the same thing here. Sure, you could for free go and track down all this information. Probably some of it you won't be able to, right? Because only certain people are gonna have it. But instead of you having to go find all of this information, it's behind a less than $5 paywall, and you just pay it a monthly subscription to get all the information that's supposedly readily available. I also can imagine if Jidion was putting out anything that would harm a legal case or would hinder legal proceedings, the defense attorneys of these people who are being charged with these crimes would utilize that to get them out of the court. Now, if we have evidence of that happening, by all means, show us that the defense attorney is utilizing this paywalled content, this information, getting these predators off, and then I'll be outraged. But you want me to be mad at the fact that he made a goofy South Park Family Guy-esque type of skit to get people to pay for all this access or paywalled access? Like, who the fuck cares?
Now, look, don't get me wrong. I'm not the kind of guy who thinks that like humor should be off limits for certain things. I think that there's room for humor in basically anything, but I really can't help but feel like editing something like this and making something where you're talking about what Jidion's talking about here in this style is in poor taste. To me, it's just a genre of content that should be.
How many times has someone made the joke of oh my god, what's the To Catch a Predator dude, whatever his name is? How many times has someone made the joke of you don't want Chris Hansen coming into the kitchen, or it's one part a joke, two part a sales pitch. Like, it's not a huge ordeal, man.
Treat it a little bit more seriously because these guys are trying to catch these predators. That's a complete.
Yes, but just because he's trying to catch predators doesn't mean he has to be serious all the time. Like, we critically analyze allegations and stuff on this channel, but that doesn't mean we have to be critical all the time with allegations. I mean, look at how we reacted to the whole Vosh thing. We were laughing at it. It was dumb. It was crazy. Is it evidence or is it allegations of him grooming a person? Yes, 100%. Is it serious? Yes, 100%. 17 and 23, not a good look. But at the same time, it's not like Vosh had this amazing, reputation online where this really needed to be overlooked and analyzed and made sure that it was 100%, on the up and up. It's kind of one of those things that you react to and you're just like, I don't know if this is true, but if it is, I can believe it. Like, it's easy to believe this.
Completely different thing than, for example, making a video where you make fun of somebody who was on the show To Catch a Predator. Because when you're watching that show, you know that those guys are fucked. That show was done with law enforcement. They all got arrested. Like, you knew.
Okay, August, apparently you don't know the lore of To Catch a Predator, but for like the first 2 seasons, none of the pedophiles were charged, or let me rephrase that, almost none of the pedophiles actually saw the inside of a trial, okay?
Not all the perps collared by To Catch a Predator have been legally punished. As much as the stings that aired all seem like airtight cases, we're only seeing the footage the show wants us to see. In reality, the show exists in a legal gray area by its very nature.
This is not what it seems to be. This is not what it was going to be.
After the segment nabbed 24 men in Murphy, Texas, the local district attorney refused to prosecute the cases, claiming they were tainted by the involvement of perverted justice. Mayor Brett Baldwin backed up the decision, saying that, even though the men in question deserved punishment, the involvement of a television show raised questions. Given the intentions of the suspects on the show, and what they might have done had the decoys they came to meet actually been the minors they expected, the result is frustrating. As to whether the blame is on the courts that wouldn't prosecute, or TCAP for not doing things by the book, that's a difficult question to answer.
A lot of them got released because of the mishandling of evidence, the mishandling of legal procedure. A lot of them. You did not know that these people were going to be, fucked. These people a lot of people got charged and then released and the charges were dropped, okay? I think you need to, read up on your history of To Catch a Predator.
knew what was going to happen to him. With these guys, it's not really the same thing. Like, it's kind of weird to edit a video in this style when, like I mentioned earlier, you could just be making a significantly more safe, cautious, and aware predator who's going to be a more effective predator. Like, we're talking about catching people who want to prey on children. Maybe.
Okay, but these two things don't align. Saying he made a funny, maybe in poor taste advertisement for his Patreon does not align with, oh, you're making more cautious predators. The only way that you can say he's making more cautious predators is if he's not getting these people charged, if he's not getting these people arrested, if he's not getting these people convicted, and he's screwing up somewhere along the legal process. That would tell me, okay, he's getting these people are becoming more self-aware, they're becoming more stringent on how they go about things. But you haven't shown me that. You even admit that Jidion's one of the better catchers and that you oftentimes see him getting these people arrested and charged. So these don't equate. These don't go together.
Maybe limit it to one explosion effect? I don't know. Just a thought. Also, like, using EDP as like a meme in this advertisement seems like really, really poor taste, because that's like one of the biggest examples of how this stuff usually ends. EDP didn't go to jail. Nothing happened to EDP. Sure, he was banned off YouTube, but like, he didn't go to jail and then he got caught trying to do it again. Like, you're kind of exposing yourself here, guys. You're using the most famous example of why your content is kind of a bad thing and doesn't really work as a way to advertise your content. You're kind of showing your hand there that you don't really care if these guys don't actually end up going to jail. Thirdly,
that's an imposed belief. There's no evidence that he actually thinks that way. Now, of course, I'm not going to sit here and do the thought police bullshit, but you can't just turn around and be like, oh, you used EDP. Obviously, you're just in it for clicks and likes and views. Like, he used EDP because he's the most famous predator on YouTube that people are going to recognize. People still laugh at the memes made about him, the things said about him. He's still used as like, LOL, don't be a EDP. Oh, that's very EDP of you, yada, yada, yuck, yuck, yuck. Like, oh, this isn't it. This is a 15-minute video that could have been 5 minutes.
it seems like conversations between a predator
and that's the other thing. You're really coming over here and getting upset with Jidion for only wanting likes and views and clicks and shit, yet you made a almost 16-minute video and didn't even get into the discourse until around 9 minutes of the video. And you have a sponsor in the video too? Come on, man. You had to get past that 8-minute mark for those advertisements, huh?
what they think is a minor is a really, really strange thing to lock behind a paywall. Like, why would you want to read that? I mean, you want to read the chats between a guy role-playing as a little girl or a little boy, and
yes, people read that shit. People love the dark area of the world. People have a glutton for this type of shit. Like, we can't sit here and just pretend. I mean, again, how many YouTubers do you see EWU documentaries? How many lawyers or how many people do you see reacting to trials and reacting to these horrific murders and shit like that? Yes, people have a taste for the evil in this world. They read this stuff, they consume this stuff. You can sit here and say it's not for you, you don't like it, it's disgusting, blah 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 blah. Okay, sure, I totally understand that, but you can't turn around and be like, who would even watch this? Well, the people who fucking watch it, the people who fucking read it. I am the type of person who reads this type of shit, okay? I am the type of person who will look into a a accusation or a story or something of that nature. Hell, I like when the whole Koberger Idaho 4 murders happened, I was reading up on everything I could on that. I was looking at surveillance panels, or surveillance cameras. I was looking at all the things that were available. Why? Because it was interesting to try and figure out, it's a tale as old as time, who done it. I will never get these 16 minutes of my life back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what the hell, dude? This is the rent must have been due, Mr. August the Duck, because this video is ass.
A man who thinks that they are a little girl or a little boy, why the fuck would you pay for that? Like, that's crazy behavior.
Wait, hold on.
A little boy, and a really strange thing to lock behind a paywall. Like, why would you?
It's not a strange thing to lock behind a paywall. The reason why, I'm going to be devil's advocate. The reason why it's locked behind a paywall is because if you just put it out there, like free for anybody and everybody, people could take that information. Obviously, they still can with a paywall. People can take that information, they can manipulate it, they can put it anywhere and everywhere. You have to cross that threshold, that paywall threshold, as a supporter. Even if you're in it for nefarious intentions, you're still having to pay something in order to accomplish those nefarious intentions, right? It's kind of like what Wing said. If you want to talk shit, put it on the back of a $20 bill. It's literally the same thing. If you're trying to get in there just to go ahead and make it look different or cherry pick certain things, you can't be stopped from doing that type of stuff, but at least you're going to pay to have to do it.
You want to read that? I mean, you want to read the chats between a guy role-playing as a little girl or a little boy and a man who thinks that they are a little girl or a little boy? Why the
August, do you not remember who Mama Max is? He did the same thing. He literally did the same thing. Like, people have a morbid curiosity, okay? And when they don't know everything, humans by nature are very, very quizzical about things, right? We want to find out, we want to know the truth, we want to know everything. And so when there's something to consume, we consume it. Why do you think conspiracy theories are a thing? There's the term going down the rabbit hole, chasing the white rabbit, all this shit. Yeah, people have morbid curiosity.
The fuck would you pay for that? Like, that's crazy behavior. Selling it is just as weird. Like, you realize that's what you're doing, right?
No, I can't support that. See, if he was making a video on the anesthetician, I believe that's what they're called, a person who puts on the laughing gas or whatever to make you go to sleep during surgery, right? I believe they're called an anesthetician or something of that nature, probably butchering it, right? If you are 100% talking about her who released unedited photos of a dead, decapitated child on her Patreon, then I'd be all with you, okay? I would be 100% with you, okay?
You've in the past seen random people who for some reason think that they're criminal journalists who could figure out or solve mysteries that were already solved, and they want to have the introspective, retrospective conversation, hiding dead kids' bodies in images behind $2 paywalls, thinking that you could have a conversation about that.
What about them being shown in the courtroom during the trial?
Oh my
How many
God!
channels, the coverage that I was going to do. I can see how in what I wrote, it does sound, if you don't know me.
Oh, if I don't know you,
how
huh?
it does sound like I could be selling photographs.
Oh.
And that could not be further from the case.
Okay. You're not selling photographs. She's not selling photographs.
I chose to do it on Patreon.
You selling photographs!
Followed the Letitia Stout case closely. And it was actually during the trial that I made the official records request. And it was in El Paso County, Colorado.
Okay.
I requested all the video, audio, and written records.
Okay.
I made no request for autopsy photos.
You do realize once you file submission for information, you're going to get all that information. And you see how you just caught yourself when you said you didn't request that, but you got it anyway, and yet you still decided to put it behind a paywall. You see how you just walked yourself into a wall? Just that easy.
I chose to put the video on Patreon because of the sensitive nature of the evidence.
You chose to put it behind a paywall because you wanted some money and you wanted to have scientific discussions about it that no one else could possibly have because you are somebody who is understanding of the scientific nature of the world today.
Cannot imagine the pain Gannon's family has gone through.
I can, because the dad said it about you.
That bitch got sued. That bitch, she lost her license, and the family went after her for like millions of dollars. Okay, if that was the case, I would 100% be with you, August, 100%. But chat logs, evidence, all this type of stuff, I don't see the problem with it. Now, if it was actually a child and a predator, we would have a little bit more of I would be way more on your side. But the fact that it's a decoy and a predator, I don't know. I can't.
Jidion, you're essentially selling child predator roleplay transcripts. That's weird, dude. Not only that, there's audio too. Like, how the fuck did this make it past the drawing board? This is an insane thing to try and sell a membership for. And then the whole like,
but that's the same thing as saying, oh, if you want to watch unedited videos where we're not bleeping out the curse words, oh, so you're selling cuss words? You're selling curse words? Like, I just, no.
Like fucking Disney sweepstakes shit where it's like, you can win a predator catching experience. Like, are you shitting me? Jidion fans got...
Okay, that one I will give you. That's kind of stupid for him to want to bring a fan out to one of these like predator catching situations. That I will 100% agree with you is retarded.
Really mad at me the last time I said this, but I'm gonna say it again. I'd have a really hard time believing that like the average Jidion fan is an adult. If you just read through the comments on his channel, you can kind of tell that that's like not the case. So, I mean, on the list of crazy shit I've heard a YouTuber say, advertising to what I've got to imagine is an audience full of teenagers. The chance to be flown out to meet a fucking child predator is pretty...
Okay, hold on. They're not being flown out to meet the person. It's being flown out to be a part of the sting, which is still equally as bad. Retarded and potentially dangerous. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's incredibly dumb for him to be advertising that. You never know the situation that could potentially happen. I mean, there's been plenty of people who have offed themselves because of content like this. Even during To Catch a Predator, there were predators who killed themselves because of it. I don't, no tears are going to be going down my face for them or anything. But to take some random person who you don't know their mental state, mental stability, whatever, like, let's say the person loses it and kills one of these predators, right, on video. Now you have a whole litany of issues. I will say that's dumb. That should be taken out of the whole advertisement.
Fucking nuts. Like, look, I'm gonna give Jidion the benefit of the doubt here and say that if he ever did this, that he'd probably make sure that it was an adult. But I mean, he doesn't say that in this advertisement, which you have to. So I don't know, man. That's just a little wacky for me. A little much. Again, even if he did say adults only, treating this as some sort of like fun, cool experience, like you would be meeting a person who wants to have sex with a child. Who the fuck?
But you're adding all of that extra shit to it. He didn't say, come out and meet someone, a predator who wants to have sex with a child. Come out and meet a predator. He says to you, if you want to be a part of one of the stings, right? Because that's, if I'm not mistaken, that's literally what he said. Let's see, where am I right now? I'm at 1312. Let's see what he actually said.
Never before seen episodes, full uncensored chat logs, audio calls, access to the exclusive Discord, and the chance to be flown out and do an EDP catch with yours truly.
To do an EDP catch with yours truly. You're getting super, super disingenuous with your...
The monk is handsome.
You're getting super disingenuous with the way you're painting this out.
Cool experience. Like, you would be meeting a person who wants to have sex with a child. Who the fuck wants to do that? You know what I mean? Like, why are we treating this like some funny game? I mean, seriously, on my list of things that I would like to do with my free time, flying out somewhere to meet up with a child predator.
It's not a meetup. Okay. All right, August, you're so fucking disingenuous, dude. This isn't a signing session. This isn't freaking, Predators convention. He's saying you can help with it. Maybe you can be the decoy. Maybe you're the cameraman. Maybe you're the driver. Maybe you're something. Who the fuck knows? This isn't a meet and greet. He's not getting a signature from this person. You're so incredibly disingenuous with the way that you're painting this out.
Has got to be right at the bottom.
Again, it's still stupid. Don't get me wrong. It's still incredibly stupid for him to want to do that with some random on the internet. But I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, August the Duck, you're totally right, when he's being so incredibly disingenuous with how he's portraying this.
And I really think the fact that Jidion or his team or whoever put this together thinks that the average person would be interested in that enough to pay for it really sort of shows some true colors and is indicative of these guys not doing this for the right reason.
Okay, you honestly think there isn't at least one person who fucking who would want to do this? Mono, you should see the video he did on Kid Behind the Camera Situation. I did watch it. And I'll be honest, it was incredibly lackluster in comparison to what it could have been, especially for someone of his channel. I actually left a comment on it as well, but I did see it. And he didn't even play the audio of the 911 call. He just talked about it like from a third party perspective. He didn't really go into the situation at all.
You should not.
He didn't bring up, I don't think he even brought up the police report or the bond or anything like that. It was not a, it was kind of a, hey, if you didn't know, Kid Behind the Camera, Michael Green, ended up getting arrested and there was a 911 video. All right, cool. See you in the next one. Like, it was more so like that.
Not be having fun doing this. Reading chat logs from guys who have no issue exploiting and ruining the lives of children, meeting up with them, making jokes about it. These are not things that I think you should really want to do. Is that subjective? I guess not.
No, it is 100% subjective. 100% subjective.
Very, though, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe they're seeing it differently. I don't really know how you would. To me, there is no reasonable explanation on the planet as to why you would be trying to sell the chat and audio logs of child predators, and I don't think there's a logical or reasonable explanation for the people buying it either. Everybody's...
You're making it sound like he's freaking selling CP. You seriously, you are. You're almost there. You're almost there trying to make it sound like he's selling it. Two reasons, right? Two logical explanations. One, to prove that he actually has evidence and that these aren't fake, right? And two, because people want to know. People want to read it. Like the second one, logical, not the best argument. The first one, logical, and it is a good argument. People want to see proof that what you're saying is true when you're doing this type of stuff. So if you have a mountain of evidence and you don't say it, you're just like, bro, trust me, I have evidence. People aren't going to believe it. Well, anyone with a brain would be way more skeptical about it. But the way you keep saying this, selling chat logs, like, come on, dude, get off the high horse on this bullshit. This is almost, it's just a very disingenuous painting of what's actually happening. Now, if he's like, if there's like, you can make the argument that there's going to be some people, right, who are, I'm going to assume this is the predator here, who are like this dude, who are going to read that stuff and get off to it. Sure, 100%. I'm not going to disagree with you there. But a vast majority of the people who are probably reading this content are people who want to know the truth behind it, want to see the logs, want to be sure that it's not an actual, like this isn't fake. or their own personal morbid curiosity, right? Like I don't see this being this huge issue of a thing. That'd be the same thing as like if you pay for Netflix, right? How many freaking Holocaust documentaries are on Netflix? So am I paying to see dead bodies? Is that the same thing? Am I paying to see the chat logs of, thank you for the subscription, Javier? Am I paying to see like the documented mass graves at that point? Because you got to pay for freaking Netflix. I don't know. I think that's just dumb. I think that it's because it's a singular person rather than a company that this is an issue.
He's fucking weird in this. Well, guys, what do you think? How do you think we...
Because how many documentaries, how many docuseries, how many media platforms will show you the text messages between actual victims and predators, will show you actual recorded calls between real victims and predators, will show you sometimes even blurred videos or images of real victims and predators. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. I have to disagree with this.
We should view this plug because honestly, like I said, I feel like Jidion feels like he's probably doing this for the right reasons. And parts of his content, you can watch it and come out thinking that, but when you see shit like this, when your entire thing is supposedly protecting the kids, and then you turn around and use a child predator to help advertise a service that's only gonna make you money, I don't know, it's kind of weird. And like I said, don't...
Okay, but... Okay, hold on.
Like I said, I feel like Jidion feels like he's probably doing this for the right reasons. And
okay, so you're assuming that it's just a feeling and that he doesn't actually know it, that he thinks that he's doing this for the right reason, but that he doesn't realize that he's not.
Parts of his content, you can watch it and come out thinking that, but when you see shit like this, when your entire thing is supposedly protecting the kids, and then you turn around and use a child predator to help advertise a service that's only gonna make you money, I don't know, it's kind of weird. And like I said...
But you also don't know what he's doing with that money. He could be doing all of this and then be donating the money to the police department, to missing and exploited children foundation. He could be sending it to different county projects that help disenfranchised kids. Like, you don't know what he's doing with this money. I don't know what he's doing with this money. Maybe he is keeping it all to himself. Maybe he's actually distributing it to righteous causes. I don't know. You don't know. So you have no idea of knowing if he's doing this just for himself.
Said, don't get me wrong, I don't think that humor should be like off limits, even when you're talking about stuff like Jidion does. But I don't know, when you're basically selling the chat logs of child predators, and you're inviting people to come out on predator catches like it's some sort of fun thing that you'd spend a Sunday doing, I don't know, it just feels...
First part, don't give a shit. Second part, I stand still with that. Yeah, 100%. It's dumb for him to be trying to sell a ticket out there to help with it.
Feels like things are not being done for the right reasons, and people's hearts are probably not where they should be. Am I looking too far into it? Maybe. I don't really think I am, though. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. And again, before I...
Yeah, I don't know. He's just bitching to bitch. Yeah, it seems that way, Freezer. It really does. So if we come down here... We actually have Jidion responding. He's saying, while I do see where you're coming from on the ad, is the ad in my video worth the title, The Predator Catcher Went Too Far? I agree with that. When you have predator catchers out here beating up predators and just letting them go. That's my whole point. That's my entire point. Like, is his ad really worth a 15-minute fucking 16-minute almost video? No. And trying to equate the potential loss of a conviction to an ad, the squares don't go into circles, bro. Jesus Christ. Commentary YouTuber talking about posting what's right. Okay. Jidion, Omaha, and Skeeter have both been able to make arrests on their channels. Yeah. Must have been a slow day at the office. I love how Jidion will not stay quiet about any allegation. He just tore up the whole video and gave perfect argument with proof. I'm going to be honest. I don't even need to watch Jidion's video in order to like disagree with August here. Since Jidion has multiple cases that are in court, it's kind of clear that he's doing good. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. And here's the other thing too. Right? We have no idea if like Jidion has found legitimate victims. I'm just going to say no idea as in currently right now at this very moment, with all the information I have, right? We have no idea if Jidion is finding the victims of these predators that he is exposing and giving them the money or giving them a portion of the money he's making off of that paywall content. We don't know that. Is he doing it? Maybe. If he's not doing it, it would be really cool for him to do it. I don't expect him to do it. I'm not going to pocket watch somebody and tell them that they need to be spending it on charity or taking care of anything. The dude makes his own content, makes his own money. He has every right to do with it with however he pleases. I like how Doug's video example of Jidion is edited to leave out the police encounter and happens to be the rare one where the PDF gets let go. I won't lie, Jidion is the only predator catcher I've ever seen actually work with proper authorities and like actually does something with the preds instead of just embarrassing. This video was not what you thought it was going to be, in my personal opinion. Who is known for predator catching content has begun to implement an advertisement into his video for a subscription to his content. Today we'll talk about this advertisement and why it's a little strange to me. So this is one of the ways that I believe you can tell AugustTheDuck knew that this wasn't going to be a very strong video. First and foremost, we don't even get to what AugustTheDuck has a problem with until almost 9 minutes into the video, right? If he thought that this was a strong concept, a strong thing, a moral standing, right? In my personal opinion, he would have came out the gate with what his issue was from the beginning of the video, not 9 minutes in of a 16-minute video, almost 16-minute video. And the only thing I have agreed with him on this is that inviting random people out to do a predator catch, a predator sting, is probably one of the most dumbest things you can do, because you never know what that person's intention is. And they could screw up the entire conviction. They can screw up the entire arrest. It's stupid, but it is what it is.
From zero to hero, we rise.